And you were a part of and I never even knew this. I didn't even trip off it like the whole time. Like you was part of Monk's.
Monk and the People. Yeah, Monk's my boy, man. Yeah, that's
shout out to Monk.
Yeah, shout out to Monk for sure.
One of the most talented artists in the city.
That boy can play.
That boy's good. That boy good.
That man can play the guitar.
Yeah.
And whenever he came, he left for Portland and he came back and he was hanging out and we were hanging out at my loft and I was like, well, if you move back, we could try to do something. Me, you, Ben, and Artie. Mm-hmm. And so he ended up moving back and we turned that into an 8-piece band and was a band for I guess 3 years. Mm-hmm. Had a great time, played a lot of fun shows.
It's dope.
A lot of the cool thing about that band too, and especially because of like how Monk is with his artistry and everything. We got to play a lot of shows with a lot of people that wasn't like us. You know what I mean? Like, so like we were kind of a funk band or kind of a genre mashing band, but that didn't mean we wouldn't go play a hip hop show or that wouldn't mean that we'd go play a hippie festival or anything. And that was what was really fun. Like we played a show with Tef Po, you know what I mean? But then a couple of weeks later, we played a show with, a bunch of like down with some hippies in like, the rural Missouri. So it was just a really cool experience.
That like helped you become more versatile and just become, a better, well-rounded musician, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, because you get all the influence, you know what I mean? You hear something new maybe that you wouldn't have heard before, and you're like, oh, maybe I can figure out a way to kind of spice myself up with a little bit of a dash of that, if you will.
Mm-hmm. So. That's dope, man. Are you working on anything in particular? Like you working on any like solo music stuff to put out?
Oh, I not musically right now. I whenever Monk and the People broke up, I kind of took a break from being in a band. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm opposed to being in a band again. I have so many things going on with developing shows and doing video production all the time that I want to be really into it if I'm going to be in a band again. Sure. Like really have my heart into it too. Mm-hmm. Not that I wasn't with Monk and the People. I was 100% with that, but. There isn't a project right now that I've played with or that I've, done anything with that I felt like, oh man, I'd really like to be a part of that.
Most definitely.
But that could change. I'm open to the options.
For sure.
So what about you? You got any cool collaborative stuff coming up?
Man, as of right now, I got like a bunch of collaborative projects that I'm working on. Mm-hmm. They're pretty much done, just adding some finishing touches. Me and Dub are really about to start like just going full throttle with the BVB too, like promo more videos. Then we're gonna do like another show, like an actual show at a a place and get people to come out. So we just talking in the works with some things.
Yeah, definitely.
Cooking though, man.
I thought you told me too. Are you working on something with Kassan too?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Now with that one, we're gonna get in touch with you about that one.
Oh yeah, we'll have to definitely do a live stream for that.
Yeah, man, that one's gonna be pretty live.
Yeah, man, I had heard of you and was familiar with some of your stuff, but whenever you guys did that High Score album with J.E., that's whenever I learned about Kassan. I was like, man, that guy is dope.
Man, he's an incredible artist.
Yeah, incredible.
I've known Kassan since 2010, and just watching him evolve from then to now, because if you listen to him back then, like you'd be like, that ain't him.
Oh yeah.
I mean he like was always a dope artist.
Sure.
But just where he's at now is just light years from where he like was.
Oh, that's amazing.
From production to like his style. He even changed his name. You know what I mean?
Sure. What was his original name?
Thailand. Because he's black and Thai.
Oh, okay.
So, but now he just goes by Kassan, and now he embraced his singing. I told him, I said, hey man, like you need to start embracing your, like do more singing because you can sing.
Man, he can sing. Like,
you know what I mean?
Really surprised me. I was really impressed.
He like got to a point where he didn't know where he wanted to go with music. He's like, man, I don't got the passion for it no more. He's like, man, should switch it up.
Yeah,
you know
sometimes you fall in a rut, you gotta switch it up.
So you need to start singing more. And he started singing more, start perfecting his craft with his beats, and it's gonna be soon before he's out of here, man.
That's awesome. You know who else surprised me too was G the singer. Whenever we did the Live from Anywhere, I heard
incredible
him.
Artist.
Oh man, yeah. I was whenever he got on it and really started giving it the runs. I was like, okay, look, because I heard him a little bit, over at the office when we would meet and prepare for the show, of course. And I was like, oh, okay, this is dope. I didn't realize at first. I thought he was working on the production part of it. I didn't know that was him singing. So like then later on, I found out that was him singing. I'm like, oh, and then you guys had him come on the show too, and I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, he's a dope singer.
He really is.
Dope songwriter, singer.
Yeah, dope human. He's a really good dude. It seems like all the interaction I've had with him, he seems like a really genuine, nice guy.
Yeah, it's real cool and laid back, man.
Yeah. Definitely. The whole AMG camp, man. Everybody's been good to me over there.
Man.
Doesn't seem like no scrubs over there.
You're part of the fam, dog. You're part of AMG now, man.
So
AMG Matt right here.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, so you did public broadcasting. You did the live sessions from the crib, live sessions from the loft. Mm-hmm. Then you worked at Gaslight.
I did.
And then now we're here.
Media Outlaws. Media Outlaws.
So, explain to the people, you know what I'm saying, what Media Outlaws is about, how they came to be, what it stands for.
Sure. So, just like anybody else, whenever you're trying to think of a business name, you want to think of something that grabs your attention. And I came up with the name of it and kind of started it all in like 2002. That's whenever I was really starting to do my own like freelance, going out and like getting a lot more.
Right after high school.
Yeah, right after high school. Yeah. So I would every few years of my early 20s and mid 20s, late 20s, I would quit my job and try to go full time with just all the freelance. Like I would get it so built up that I thought I had it ready. You know what I mean? And found out very, very abruptly that, I wasn't necessarily each time and fell on my face a little bit, but I always was able to rebound and come back. You know what I mean? So now it's just another one of those things. It was time to move on from Gaslight. Obviously no hard feelings there. They keep doing the Gaslight sessions. They're great people over there. Go check them out for sure.
Shout out to JB.
Yeah. And Rick too. Rick Wagner's, of course, my man over there. You know what I mean? That's Rick. Me and Rick are good buddies, of course. So, and Bam's good. I don't know if you know Bam Jones, but he's
Bam.
great.
Shout out to Bam too.
Yeah, dope drummer. So, and engineer. But anyway, So it was time to move on, and now I got a video studio downtown, and do promos and music videos and any kind of production we can do. Go out on set or live stream it, post production, whatever you want to do, man.
And you got like some other shows that you do also, right?
Yeah, I work on like all week, every week. I'm working on podcasts, editing promos for a lot of different clients and different shows and things like that. So, and then I also produce and do a few production and engineering on a couple of shows for We Are Live and Midcoast Media. They do stuff like a show called Drinks with the Band, and that's with Jack Daniels, like the actual ambassador for the United States. E.T. Tukowski is the co-host, so pretty cool. Yeah, and they bring bands on, independent artists that tour usually, and they'll play a live set on the show and answer a bunch of questions. It's a fun show. Check that out. But then we've done just a bunch of different shows in general. Like I did Oktoberfest a couple weeks ago for Soulard.
Oh wow!
I did a award show a few weeks ago.
Was it St. Louis award show? Or?
Yeah, it was called Girls in the Know, and it was an award show for like outstanding women in the community.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was really cool.
I mean, you a hot commodity out here.
Hey, I'm trying, man. If one thing that people I hope realize is like you can have dope production live streams and not have to go over the top finding these big companies to do that. You got people like me or like Jesse back there or Kiaris or all these like there's small group of us, but we are out here. We do exist. Like getting a multicam live stream show is a thing. It's here, and that genie's not going back in the bottle. What I mean? Now that COVID came and made live streaming so prominent, I don't foresee it backing off. What I mean? Like, and especially now, like with the tip jar being regular for musicians, like I feel like it's a legit way for musicians to add that to their repertoire of making money. Where if they can't go out on the road, maybe they can build up, a bit of an online presence and make some tips and make ends meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, what's the plan when, say, hopefully, COVID dies down and artists are able to start doing shows back in the venues? How does Media Outlaws plan on, incorporating their skill set into, the venue settings?
Oh man,
with the artists.
I just want to make cool stuff. So I'm hoping, with all this live streaming going on and the venues, I'm working with a few venues right now to see about getting Live From Anywhere in those venues too. So the whole idea for Live From Anywhere is to do it not from my studio.
Right,
you know what I mean? The whole point was like part of moving on from Gaslight was that I did that same room 250 times. You know what I mean? So it was just I was ready to refresh my creative side. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like there was never a time where I was sad doing gaslight sessions or anything, but there was a time where it did kind of personally become stale because I've lit that room so many times. I've done it
again.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the excitement of finding some partners and doing some cool streams and even just popping up in random places. So
Can you do it outside too?
Oh yeah, we can do a lot of it battery powered. We can do we got different options with different scalability to be able to try to take this to some unique places. You know what I mean? And we're working on that. It's just that as we were working on it, of course, the weather's going to run out on us for being
For sure.
prime.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're looking at always different ideas of things that we think would be neat. As a live stream. Do you have a dream location for a live stream or a music video? Like if you could be anywhere.
I would love to do something on like the beach.
A beach, just a beach live stream, that whole vibe.
Or like Venice Beach, like a live stream show on Venice Beach. Venice Beach be popping.
Yeah, yes it is.
Venice Beach be popping.
That would be
to have
dope.
a live stream show like there.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty lit.
Yeah, see, I feel like that's doable, especially because they have like electric out there for people to like busk and stuff like that already. So, I feel like that's not that unattainable these days. You know what I mean? Because like, technology has come so far. Like you can have almost an entire TV station in your backpack these days. You know what I mean? So
people shooting videos with their iPhones and all type of shit, man.
Crazy quality on these too.
Yep.
They just announced the iPhone 12 today or yesterday, and it's
spend
like
some money, man.
Man, if I didn't just buy the 11 Pro Max, I'd be ready for that bad boy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's neat that it's so available. Like it definitely means that we're going to see more saturated content, for sure, because streaming is so easy to do now. But the people that are going to stand out now are the ones that take the technology and figure out how to wrap it into a full product. Make it into
notch.
Yeah, well, and not just you can't just rely on a really good camera or a really good mic or you got to have like character and ability to carry, or else it's going to fall flat really quick. So
I know some guys who don't have like the red or the black magic, but they still put out dope and creative videos.
Absolutely.
It's still it has hella replay value. Like, damn,
for
watch
sure.
it again.
I mean, we didn't shoot we shot some of the gaslight sessions on Blackmagic stuff, but a lot of it was Panasonic GH5s and Canon, 5D2s and Canon DSLRs, originally. So, I really do always tell everybody the best camera to start with is the one you got. You know what I mean? Because you've already got it. So why not get the seat time? Then you'll know what you don't like about that camera. So when you're ready to buy a new camera, maybe you have a little more insight on what makes the camera feature-wise what you want, and maybe you'll get the right one on the first try. So it's a lot to it, but there's also just there's a lot to be said about just doing it. You know what I mean? It's like rapping, you gotta put those reps in.
Yeah, lots and lots and lots of reps.
Lots and lots of reps.
Yeah. So a lot of entertainers or just entrepreneurs here, they always talk about how like they want to move, like they feel like they got to move to a different state in order to prosper, and see some type of like financial, increase, in their, talents. Do you feel you have to do that? Do you feel you have to move elsewhere in order to, become more successful in what you do?
No, not at all. I think St. Louis is the perfect proving ground for it because, it has a lot of good things going for it as far as businesses go. I mean, the cost of living here is low. The amount of entrepreneurs here is high. It's one of the best startup cities in the country right now because of those, a lot of the economic things going on. I think, moving to a place where you're a small fish in an even bigger pond, I mean, it's going to be harder to stand out. You're going to have to go up against people that have all the things that you feel are shortcomings that you don't have. And that's not to say that if you do move that it isn't the right call for you. I just think that, to be successful doesn't require moving it. It just requires having that will and drive to figure it out in the area you're in. Every place has a different recipe. So it's really where does it apply best for what you're trying to do.
And what people fail to realize is like the stuff we complain about here, people in other cities complain about.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's plenty of things like, anything. I mean, there's so many things that are just as bad or worse than other cities. I mean, you think about, oh man, if you live in LA, you've got so many more days of the year even that you can work outside or do things like for video shoots, right? But you also can't go 3 miles in 4 minutes there. You know what I mean? Everything is slow down there. Like there's always traffic, or there's always people, or there's always something happening that slows you up. Whereas here, you know, there's so many opportunities here, especially in video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just a lot going on that we're in the middle of the country, so we also are accessible to be easily able to travel. So if traveling is your thing, if you live in New York or LA, you got to go across the entire country to go do something. If you're in the Midwest, you're just right, you know, quick little plane right away from anything.
Yeah. And like you were saying earlier, like the cost of living here is affordable.
Affordable, yeah.
You know what I mean? Where in Cali or New York, it's high as hell.
Oh man,
that's the only reason why the main reason why I didn't move to LA. You know what I'm saying? As of right now, because like a 1-bedroom apartment was $1,200. You know what I mean?
Man. And you know, like, so did you feel like that you needed to move because your art needed to have a new location to prosper, or was it just you wanted to change a pace?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Like moving to be where, you know what I'm saying, the action is. That was the main reason.
What was the reason behind LA instead of like Atlanta or?
Well, my managers, they stay out there.
Oh, okay.
Like, and they was just telling me, like, you know what I'm saying, to be where the action is and to network with people that we know and things of that nature, to start building those relationships, you know, either come out here more often or, you know what I'm saying, move. You know what I'm saying, out here. And so I started visiting, you know what I'm saying, more. I like go out there every year, once or twice. And I really fell in love with the city. Like, damn, this is a very nice, you know what I'm saying, city.
And it is a cool spot. I mean, don't get me wrong, LA is awesome.
It's high as hell.
All the time. God, people are everywhere.
Yeah. You know, and I'm a grown man, so I can't live with 3 people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
To maintain like a household.
Yeah. I'm not interested in that either.
To pay $800 for like a room. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't do that.
Like a closet size room too.
I can't do that one, man.
Like I'm used to my king size bed. I'm not trying to like go to a twin. You know?
Yeah.
little
I know
Murphy
people
bed flipping down.
that like is out there, you know, that's doing that. You know what I mean?
And look, salute to the grind for sure. You know what I mean? Because like no matter what you do, it's going to be grind. Everyone thinks like usually, oh, if I make this change or I make that change, it'll be easier.
No.
And that's never like. I try not to look at anything as getting easier. It makes more time to do more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If things are getting easier, that means that it's time to turn up in other directions so that the whole package can get there. You know what I mean? But you know, I do think that moving to different areas is of course a great idea because, you know, the great thing about the modern time we live in is that if you move somewhere tomorrow, you can be back next week if you want to be. You know what I mean? This isn't like
family.
This isn't like you're loading up the wagon and you're gonna maybe get dysentery Oregon Trail style. You know what I mean? This is the modern age where we can be somewhere in a few hours based on current transportation options. You know, so you know if you have that drive and you want to go out there, definitely it's good to refresh yourself. If you find yourself stagnant or something, why not go live somewhere else for 6 months and try it out?
Like
you know what I mean?
Like a new challenge and all of that. Like I always tell like younger people who don't have, you know what I'm saying, so many responsibilities at the moment, you know what I'm saying, like go.
Travel as much as you can while you can. Yeah. And you know, that can, you know, you don't have to always go 15 hours away either to travel. Like, you know, I always try to think of like whenever artists are starting to grow right to the point where they're not quite ready to tour, but they're definitely on the cusp of it, like other cities want to see them, but it's still a growth process. It's like, well, start reaching out, just like go an hour away and then go 2 hours away and just slowly leak yourself into those. Find friends that you can make where you can trade, you know, shows together and say, hey, I'll come down and do a show with you in Nashville if you'll come up here and do a show with me. And, you know, we build that synergy where you can kind of trade off and build off of each other's audiences.
That's where me and my former, my co-host, Haku, that's what we used to do. We used to go to, we went to Chicago, start building bridges there. We went to KC or, you know, places like around here, you know what I'm saying? Not more than like a 5-hour radius.
Yeah, 5-hour radius.
And we'll go there during the weekday, you know what I'm saying, and do a show and then come back, you know what I'm saying? That same night and just building, you know, bridges, you know what I'm saying, with people.
So out of all those, like, all the spots you've toured and you've played and everything, where's your favorite spot you've done a gig?
Actually, Chicago.
Chicago? People treat you the best there?
Yeah, shout out to Jory, Norman, and Simon. They got a spot called Sub T's. It's like a legendary hip hop spot in Chicago.
That's what's
so
up.
they show hella love like when it come to hip hop music, you know what I mean? So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's always lit whenever we, you know what I'm saying, used to go. So
that's what's up for sure. That's Chicago's always been a great place to go to just to like get a refresher. You know what I mean? Like if you want to leave the area and feel like you really went somewhere, like Chicago's always a good choice to me for some reason.
Yeah.
It always feels like it's just so different than St. Louis, but not in like a weird or bad way. It's just like a refreshing feeling. It's like, oh, this is totally different than what I'm used to, even if you're in downtown. You know what I mean? Like I live downtown St. Louis. If I go downtown a lot of different cities, I always feel like I'm kind of in the same place. You know what I mean? But Chicago, I don't know, it always makes me feel different. I like Chicago.
I told myself, man, like now that the New Year's approaching, I'm gonna definitely. I wanted to do it this year. I was doing it in January and February. I was gonna travel somewhere every month.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then COVID came and kind of put like a a wrench in plans. But I'm gonna definitely get back to it. And,
says Mr. Miami over here, who just got back.
I had to have some fun, enjoy myself.
How was Miami?
It was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
You turned a year older there.
Turned a year older
was
there.
35,
33.
33.
Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Jesus' number. It was cool though, man. Enjoyed the weather, you know what I'm saying? Good people. Just a mental vacay.
Yeah, that's what's up, for sure. Yeah, and it's so important to do that. You know, like whenever people get a lot of people like us, especially that work hard, you know, and are constantly working on things and trying to make things happen and move, right? We forget to take a break for us. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to take a break and just let yourself let go for a minute. You know what I mean? You've been it's almost like you've been looking at it too long. You gotta get that mental refresher. And I'm ready. I'm due coming up.
You know, like COVID was a gift and a curse.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I had a lot of time. This probably the most sleep and downtime that I've ever gotten in like years, like since I was a kid.
Sure.
So I got to sleep a lot. I got to catch up on TV shows.
Man.
I got to,
so many TV shows.
Hell yeah, man. Like Netflix has been like, I've been using my monthly subscription for Netflix.
Yeah, every dollar has been earned.
It's been earned.
How much watch time does it take to pay for Netflix to you? Do you have like 3 shows you like? Does that keep it relevant for you?
Man, I got probably about a good 4.
Yeah.
So like around that time, like the Wu Assassin, I watched that a couple times.
Oh
like
yeah.
The first season.
I didn't see that one yet.
The Game that just came out not too long ago. That's 8 seasons, so I'm on like season 3.
There you go.
Into the Badlands. That's a dope show.
I saw part of that. That was good.
And what's the mug called? You ever seen
You?
Yeah, it's called You. I think that's what it's called. But it's a dude. He's a stalker / serial killer, and he's infatuated with like, you know what I'm saying, his crushes, you know, during certain seasons. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So he be stalking them, following the guys they talking to, killing them,
creepy.
Kidnapping them. Yeah.
Oh, kill them.
It's a pretty good show.
Girl? Bang bang.
Yeah, it's a good show, man.
That's crazy. I definitely got into The Witcher. Did you watch that?
Is that good?
Yeah, it's based on a video game. It was really good. Yeah, it's The Witcher 3. But yeah, it caught on for a little while for sure. And then I think everybody went crazy for Joe Exotic whenever that thing came out.
Joe Exotic.
You watch that stuff? Oh man, the Tiger King. Boy,
I seen the Tiger King.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Joe Exotic.
Oh,
Yeah, wasn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Was that the quickest flash in the pan of COVID?
Yeah.
That might be the fastest flash in the pan for COVID because I can't think of anything that came and went quicker than that.
Man, like they was talking about that for about a good week. That's all I heard about.
Yeah,
that's
like a week or two, it was
out.
solid, and then it just disappeared.
Yep.
But
yeah, man. And you said you're pretty big on video games.
Yeah, man. I got a little bit of a retro collection, and then I've got a video game group called Vintage Gamers Club because we're older. The gamers are older, but we also play older games too. But yeah, we play Smash Brothers, do tournaments. We've had a couple Tekken tournaments, and
oh man, and next time you get a Tekken tournament, let me know.
Oh, I will, man. We'll be doing it too. Yeah, so LOCO actually was part of some of the tournament stuff we were doing. We did down to Slice Pint downtown. We had a blast doing that. Yeah, wow. So. Shout out to the Vintage Gamers Club guys. We were doing tournaments and everything. And of course, you know, that was kind of our shtick was like, you've seen like my live stream setup, you know, kind of imagine everything you saw for your live from anywhere on location somewhere, and the lighting was made for a commentary booth for like where we have like all pro mics and everything, and we're watching the screen and the players are playing. There's cameras on the players, the screen, the video games are showing.
That's dope.
Run it through, you know what I mean? And then we had like a live DJ do a set, you know, in the intermission, and yeah, we were really. It was really fun. So like putting together these events like that, you know, that's something I'm really into too, is event production and making these live experiences. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to do a show, you know, like say Gaslight Sessions or like, you know, Live from Anywhere or any of that. But like when COVID's over, the goal is to make Live from Anywhere or anything that I'm doing more of an experience where you go home like, man, like you know, I don't want to miss that, because that was, you know, especially now that we've had COVID and everything, it's like I think everybody will appreciate when we can do things like that again, like game tournaments in person and all that.
Yeah,
again.
for real.
People will really be into that and will appreciate it. So I think if you can build a good product to welcome them back with, it's really a great time to shine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because whenever they get that good feeling, they're going to be like, oh, this is that feeling I needed. I can rely on this particular thing. And then, you know what I mean? Hopefully that'll build some.
It's really like people like you are really keeping entertainment and stuff like alive and, you know what I'm saying, well.
Man, I want to, you know, whenever the going gets tough, let's figure out a way to, you know, at least try to make some people smile a little bit, or have like, you know, have a mental release from that fight in their brain with everything going on, you know. And, you know, there's nothing better to me than music too for entertainment. Like, you know, I love so much different music that doing a live stream show like Live from Anywhere, that's a labor of love on top of anything that might come of it. You know what I mean? That's like, you know, I've always enjoyed putting St. Louis on as a platform, like giving them the opportunities to come in and do, you know, really cool production stuff and try and make just dope content. You know what I mean? Because that's like, we have so many cool creative people here that do such cool stuff. Like there's plenty of room for all of us to grow and just be this big web if we just work together. You know what I mean? That's something I'm really into. I love that sort of thing. Most
definitely, man. We definitely appreciate your contributions and what you do for the scene. Because that Live from Anywhere was definitely a game changer. My inbox was blowing up. Hey man, who did that? You know what I'm saying? What's his contact? Wow.
Yeah, thanks, man. I hope that everybody realized too, I'm very approachable about a project. You know, I'll tell you if I can do it or can't, or if it's good timing or not. You know what I mean? And also, if I tell you no, realize that doesn't mean that we can't do it in the future. It just means that maybe the timing right now might be off. You know? Timing is so important.
Very important.
You know, and of course, you know, I'm a multi-genre show too. So like, you know, tomorrow night we've got Scrub going to be live, of course. Shout out to Scrub and the guys. Can't wait. We're going to have a great time. Shout out to Megano, of course. She'll be in the house hosting. But, you know, tomorrow night, that's going to be just so fun to me because of the collaborative aspect of it. And like, you know, as you're about to go live, everything just gets real, like almost tense on the inside. And then the moment the show's rolling and cool, it's like this huge.
Yeah, hey.
You know what I mean?
We started late the last time. We had, you know what I'm saying, some things going on that started late. So everybody was like on their, you know, toes. We was tense. You know what I'm saying? Tense and frustrated. Then once it was showtime, we snapped out of it and, you know what I'm saying, made it happen.
Yeah, you know, one thing too that you know, a good director or a showrunner will do, and I like to think that I was able to do this, was like, you know, we kept the atmosphere cool though. Like we got the DJs rolling, we got everybody having a good time. You know what I mean? Once we fixed what the issue was, it was just like it was from moderate fun to all the fun. You know what I mean? It was like, all right, well, at least we're having a good time up until the point. Oh, and now it's everything. You know what I mean? So,
we turned up.
Sure. Man. And man, you guys killed it too. The performances were dope, and
thank you, man.
I mean, you know, I always am a big fan of hip hop or rap artists that can bring it with a live show too, because it seems like that can be a section that sometimes can falter in that particular genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we love the live shows. Like we get our energy off the people. So like if people was there, like if there was a crowd and they was turned up, like, we would have really been acting a damn fool.
Yeah, and whenever we can too, you can best bet we'll be doing a show, a live stream show where we can have people there. You know what I mean? That's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, there'll be some more AMG streams coming for sure.
Damn right.
So
what's for the future for Media Outlaws?
Man, I just want to keep grinding and keep growing. You know, hopefully one day I'll have a bigger studio than I do now that has a couple of studios in it. You know, I've got a great. Don't get me wrong, I love my studio now. It's an amazing setup for what I need to do. But ultimately, yeah, I'd like to have like maybe a studio similar to what I got now, except maybe with a couple of podcast rooms too, or and a couple editing suites. But really, I just focus on making dope content. That's more important than any of the rooms or any of the gear, is figuring out dope ideas that we can do that makes us stand out and fulfills that creative need inside of me that enjoys it. You know what I mean?
Has anybody ever used like, cause the building, like you own that, like that building's pretty big.
It's huge. Yeah, I don't own it. I manage it for a company out of New York. Okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a 800,000 square foot building.
God,
so
damn.
it's a whole city block. It's massive.
Whew. Has anybody ever used it to shoot, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like
for
video
sure.
or a movie or something like that?
100%. Yeah, so we've done lots of music videos in there. Brandon Sloan and I did a music video for Al Holiday, and then I've also rented it out to people to let them use for different stuff, or did some sort of barter to let them use it. You know, like a few times I would have people that maybe couldn't afford the fee to rent it, but then I just said, well, hey, if you want to clean out this section of the building and use it as your set, then that'll be the trade-off. You cleaned the area, you made it nicer.
Dude, that's fair.
Right. Well, I just, not everybody has a budget for their project, you know what I mean? But I also don't want to, like, make it feel like it's, like, only about the money. That's not. It's about just helping out in general, like, kind of getting some time in. But, yeah, that building, it's such a unique spot because it's so big that you can you could do a lot of different things in it and look totally different in a few different areas. It feels like you went all over the place, and really you're still just in this one city block spot.
Yeah, man.
But BMW shot a commercial in there. I've a full-length movie got shot in there, an independent film. That's not out yet. It's called Lamina. I think it comes out in like the next year or two, but it was shot like over the last 3 years, I think.
That's dope.
So yeah, super cool. They brought the full rigs out and everything. It was really neat. So yeah, that's kind of the building is one of those. And you know this, I don't like really tag where it is or tell people about it all the time. Not because I don't want visitors or anything like that, mainly because I just don't want everybody to also ask me all the time to constantly use it, because it's like I don't want to oversaturate it. You know what I mean?
Keep it special.
Well, I want to keep it special, yeah. So that doesn't, get at me if you got a project that you need a warehouse for sure, but also realize that, it's booked up pretty solid, and I don't just take everything on.
Yeah.
But we did have a drone race there last weekend.
Really?
Yeah, so like drone racers were ripping these crazy laps. I'll send you a link to it. It was wild.
That's dope, man.
So
you a big fan of UFC too, right?
Absolutely.
Because you did like a podcast on like the last UFC.
A couple of them again. Yeah, we got the next one coming up with Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Justin Gaethje will be live for that one. So it's called MMA on the Mic, and we do our own commentary. So you can just mute Joe Rogan and all those guys and listen to average dudes probably talk silly stuff. You know what I mean? Who
do you got with the Khabib and
Gaethje? Oh man, it's hard to go against Khabib just because he's so dominant. Like his wrestling and ground game, he's really good at holding people down. I mean, if you watch any of his Sambo stuff, especially, you'll see him hold people down just relentlessly. So it's hard. And every time too that I ever thought that he might lose against someone, he ends up just utterly dominating them. So I was just like, man,
I was kind of upset with Connor because that's my guy.
Yeah, Connor was kind of my guy too, except I got over the theatrics and the antics. Like, dude, fight or don't. I don't, now I don't care. Like, it isn't an instant amazing draw to me anymore. Like, oh, Connor's got to fight good. You know what I mean? Looks like he's going to fight Poirier in January, though.
I heard they're talking about him fighting Pacquiao.
Yeah, they were saying early 2021 a Pacquiao fight, which, I mean, I guess, you know what I mean? What does he gain if he wins? Like, to you? I mean, because if you're talking, like, to me, Pacquiao's over the hill anyway. So if Conor can catch him with one hard flush shot with his left hand,
Pacquiao's kind of wild.
I mean, it's a way bigger glove too, so you don't quite get the pop that McGregor does. But
he would have gained more if he beat Mayweather.
Oh, by far, yeah. Well, that's the best defensive boxer maybe in the history. To him and Roy Jones Jr. are the two best defensive boxers to ever live.
Roy Jones versus Mike. Who you got?
Oh man, I can't go with anyone but Mike. I mean, You're talking two guys that are definitely way past their prime.
Right.
But if you watch Mike Tyson hit a bag, like you can tell that his off and on, like if you look at his career, he took far less abuse than Roy Jones.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, just the battle worn aspect of it, I have to give it to Tyson. Not only that, the size difference and power difference is going to be. Do you see Shannon Briggs offered to step in?
Talking about the big ball headed dude.
Big boy, big boy. He's offered to step in and fight Tyson. I was like, oh, that'd be interesting. I'd watch that too. Yeah. Go ahead and cite that up after the next one.
Roy's still fighting.
Yeah.
He's still fighting.
Oh yeah, he'll take an exhibition fight here and there. I think he's the only boxer, and this is why you have to consider him for best defensive boxer of all time at least. He's the only boxer that the CompuBox system, since that's been in effect, which is like the system that counts the strikes and all that, all the statistics. He's the only boxer in the history of CompuBox to not get hit by a punch for an entire round. Really? Not a single punch landed on him for an entire round with a digital system watching. So not even a graze, not a nothing. Literally the only boxer ever.
Wow.
And I just find that fascinating. Like, how do you,
and he was still going toe-to-toe with the guy?
Yeah, going, like, just like, he was always a slick defensive boxer. He's in and out and doesn't take a lot of damage. But to not take a single punch for an entire round is
a 3-minute round?
It's bizarre. In a match where your hands are the primary, that's all it is. There's no kicking, there's no grappling. So to not get even just a jab that hit a block, even, you know what I mean? Like, to not have a single real punch land is nuts.
Boxing's a pretty interesting sport.
It's more like chess to me than it is like MMA is. You know what I mean? But you train, right?
Yeah. I'm actually supposed to be in a tournament the 31st.
Oh, really? Where at?
I'll shoot you the details.
Yeah, I'm not sure what discipline.
It's going to be Muay Thai. They got a Muay Thai division. They got kickboxing and they got boxing. So I think my sensei wants me to do the kickboxing.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So we just been doing heavy sparring. Got hella sparring sessions this weekend.
Yeah.
But he brought a boxer in. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're training with him. And with boxing, you pretty much got to be like in the same, like face to face with him. So you can't really do like distance. So that's one thing that I'm working on, just really being like a up close fighter.
I'm staying in the pocket.
More like distance. I'm trying not to get hit.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So just learning that, and he's a boxer. So he's so fast, and he just makes it look so effortlessly.
But whenever there's not other things in the game, so like when you can't even, let's say, even kicks because you're kickboxing, right? It's like that really limits. People don't understand how someone who boxes has such an extreme advantage over someone who does a different discipline when they come into boxing. Yeah, like a lot of people, I think that was lost on McGregor even coming to fight Mayweather. Kind of,
if that was a regular street fight, kind of would have been the first round, because he was hit. Like, he like kept you see him kind of kept going to the back. You know what I'm saying? But
he would have had his back, taken him down, and then pounded him out long before, But to be fair though, Floyd wouldn't have fought that way either if he would have been. He would. And I've heard that he's actually got a not bad sprawl.
Really?
So so he's not terrible. So, but can't imagine he would be terrible anyway. Whenever you're a world class fighter like that, I would imagine you've dabbled. You know what I mean? Like, you've probably tried some different things out. So, since you're kickboxing, are you a fan of Tyrone Spong? Do you know who that is?
I don't know.
Oh man, you got to check it. So Tyrone Spong is he's like 170 something and 2 or something like that. You know what I mean? In kickboxing and Muay Thai. So you'll really enjoy watching his fights. He's complaining lately he can't find a fight, MMA or kickboxing. It's like, well, I imagine,
beat everybody.
Yeah, who wants any of that?
Has he fought Izzy Alzanya?
No.
Okay.
I don't think. I think they would be 2 weight classes because Tyrone Spong is a heavyweight.
Okay.
And Izzy was only like a 170 or 185er for kickboxing.
Okay. Because like Izzy's MMA record prior to the UFC was like, what, 70-some wins and 2 losses?
Yeah, for kickboxing, yeah. His Muay Thai or kickboxing, he's like 77 and 2 or 4 or something like that.
And then the knockout that somebody gave him, he was whooping his ass the whole fight.
Oh my gosh.
He got lucky punching in.
I can't believe that we're talking about UFC and we aren't even talking about our own STL local. Did you see the knockout Joaquin Buckley in the UFC? Holy
the best
shit!
Knockout I've ever seen, bro.
They tweeted that. The
Yeah.
UFC tweeted, this
Yeah.
is the greatest UFC knockout of all time.
Ever.
I mean, and no one forgets Edson Barboza and Terry Edom because Edson Barboza kicked Terry Edom and he fell like a tree in the woods after he gets cut down and like it lingers and then falls. It was so crazy.
Yeah.
But then, and what's crazy too is that move is definitely the one that Joaquin Buckley did. That's definitely a Tekken move.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch it, you can play the two side by side, and they literally are in the same motion, the same everything. It's almost like he meant for it or had thought about it. I thought he was going to kick away like a normal dude. You know what I mean? Like, turn your back to him, pull your leg away, then spin back, reset.
He sure did a label long on him, bro.
My goodness, that was amazing.
And then old boy fell like a taking care of it too. He just.
Yeah, and if you guys at home don't know who we're talking about, get ready because you're about to know who Joaquin Buckley is.
Yeah,
Cause
he's a beast, man.
And he's from right here in St. Louis, And what's weird to me too is like, obviously we had T. Wood, Tyron Woodley.
Shout out to Woodley.
Yeah, definitely was always a hometown favorite for me. I would always root for him. You know what I mean? Just based on being from here. Even before I really knew about him in Strikeforce and stuff like that. But we didn't. I feel like St. Louis didn't celebrate him as the champion that he was. Like being the UFC welterweight champion is a major deal.
And for like years.
For years, like he
dominated
dudes. Like it wasn't just kinda. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, how is it that we had like this is like like he is at the pinnacle of the top of the sport. Like this would be the equivalent of winning an NFL championship or a Major League Baseball championship or anything. We don't even talk of like he got like. Maybe he pitched one time to the Cardinals, like an opening pitch or something.
On his defense though, like a lot of people, they're really just starting to get into UFC. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's a big sport, but it's still growing into like, you know what I'm saying? Like its popularity's increasing by the day.
100%.
Because even when Willie was out and dominating, I didn't really get hip to him until a couple years. Like when I used to work at Apple and he came into the store, you know what I'm saying? I was like, hey, okay, man, I'll get the stuff and put him in the system. And my homeboy was like, man, you know who that is? That's Tyron Woodley. I'm like, who's that? He's like, that's the
Strikeforce champion, bro.
The UFC champion.
Yeah.
What's oh, all right, cool. So then that's when I started like following him. Then he did the album with Dub.
Of course, yeah.
All that. I'm like, oh, okay, this dude's the real deal.
Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna try and figure out a way to get a hold of him, see if he wants to do some MMA on the mic commentary.
Oh shit, man, we might be able to make that happen.
Hey, that'd be awesome. And Joaquin Buckley, if you ever see this clip somehow, you let me know if you want to come on over and talk about that kick too, bro.
It's another dude. I don't think it's Joaquin, man. I think it's somebody else. He's another brother though. He's a UFC fighter or like an MMA fighter, but he's making like some strides too. I think his name is David something. I seen it on his I forgot where I seen it at, man. But dude, he's on the come up though.
Sweet,
pretty nice.
And if you these local cards that you see, if you see anything like Shamrock FC or if you see like Nemesis Fighting Alliance or any of these, you got to realize like that's the grooming ground. Like we've had multiple UFC fighters that have had good careers or are having good careers come from our homegrown stuff here. You know what I mean? Like Joaquin Buckley's not the first dude out of here, and T. Wood's not the first guy even really out of here. I mean, we had Matt Hughes, who was from over in Illinois, who was a world champion too in the UFC. Obviously, legend. You know what I mean? So, our area, we generate champions.
Yeah.
In all facets of life. Especially in fighting, apparently. You know what I mean? So, I gotta go watch those fights and see who's on the come up, man, because that could be the next big star. You never know. Like, gotta watch.
COVID really has, at least me, really, you can't take stuff for granted. Like events or just
for sure
going places or traveling and all that, like, or appreciating family time, you know what I'm saying, or your job. A lot of people lost their jobs, it like really put like a lot of things into perspective.
Yeah, since everything's been so virtual, is there anything that you feel like translates poorly to virtual events? Like, obviously you don't get the same energy from a crowd at a hip hop show or something like that, but you still get the music across.
Yeah.
Like, but do you feel like there's anything that you've experienced that they did that maybe like how I did Oktoberfest last week? You know what I mean? That was a virtual experience. Like, there wasn't lots of people there, obviously, because COVID, there was just a few people there doing these little things that we were doing. Is there anything that you've experienced that you think, like, man, this is the one thing that definitely does not translate in COVID times?
me being an artist, I'd probably say, I mean, it translates well, but it's still no feeling like performing in front of like an audience.
Yeah, making an audience pop is like
Yep.
the greatest feeling.
That and fresh produce, you know what I'm saying? Like doing like just
man.
being in the building and hearing like the beat drop and
Yeah,
it's just a different feeling,
that
man.
bass hammering through.
It's just different live.
You know what I don't miss?
What?
I don't miss dudes coming up to me that want to rap in my ear.
They still do that. They'll call me. Hey man, listen to this. Check this out.
I'd take a phone over a hot drinking breath on my neck. I'm just kidding. Anyone who's ever done that, it's never been that bad. I'm just messing. But I always think of that. Like that's the one thing we were missing from our hip hop show. It's like I just need some dude to come up while I'm switching the show to throw like a hot 16 in my ear while I'm trying to.
He said, I ain't even a rapper, man. I'm behind the boards, man. Well, man, it was a pleasure having you.
Man, likewise. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Any closing remarks for the people?
Man, go out there and whoever you see out here doing cool stuff, you just try to support that, man, because we need it all as much as we can right now. And there, like St. Louis is small, but competition, healthy competition is a good thing. But we can all come up together. So don't be stingy.
And make sure you guys tune in to Live from Anywhere tomorrow at 7 p.m.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Central Standard Time for my boy Scrub. And he's going to be putting on a hell of a show. Shout out to Scrub.
Yep.
Shout out to Media Outlaws. Shout out to y'all. STLvsErrbody, LOCO Radio. We out.